Hello everyone, and welcome back to another favorite channel. I'm Jay from Jay Books Corner, and today we're talking about all my current writing projects. I don't know the last time I did a video about my current writing projects, to be honest with you, but I figured it's time to give you an update on kind of where I'm at with writing, what the plans of the future are, kind of let you in on some information, publication information, that type of thing, what I'm looking at. Was my plan for this video, so let's go ahead and get started. Currently, my current working project is Project Sarah Volume 1, which I've been talking about for over almost, in October it'll be, I think, 2 years since the creation of that project. And so, I've been talking about this project for such a long time, and it means so much to me. This character means so much to me. And we're finally getting down into the nitty-gritties of its ending, which is, exciting, but also scary. We're reaching about 70,000 words into it. We might actually have hit over 70,000. I've not put in the stuff that I've been writing when I was at work. And we might be over 70,000 words now. We're in the final part. We're in the final chapters of the book. I'm very excited to get it done and over with. I will have to mention, though, you're gonna have to hear me talk about the sequel first before we even talk about publication for Project Sarah. Project Sarah is really interesting because I've been tempted to not tell you what the series is about, the titles, or anything, because all my horror stuff is going to be under a pen name. That is something I decided. I decided all my horror stuff and all the things that I've written for middle grade and or children will also be under pen names. And I'm just going to keep all of my more adult romance or middle or YA romance, that type of thing. My romance is a bit mixed baggy, but it covers a lot of different things. New adult, young adult, suspense, paranormal, all that stuff will be under my actual name. I have lots of projects that are going to be underneath my name, but I just figured, because I don't think a lot of people who are going to be reading, for instance, when GSR does come out, I don't think a lot of people who are interested in GSR are going to be interested in Project Sarah. They're going to be more interested in whatever the next thing is from me that's romance based. I don't think I'm going to be very oh, look at me. I have a feeling I'll probably end up telling you what it is. I just have yet to decide personally what that will be. But either way, so I've been working on Project Sarah. It is almost done, and then we'll be working on its sequel. I started to plan out the sequel. I started to plan out the series going forward. I always knew that I was going to spend the next 10 years of my life in this world, and I've started to plan out what that actually looks like, what that means. I love this world. I love these characters. I love everything about it. I mean, journalistically, it's a post-apocalyptic zombie world, and I'm having the best fucking time of my life in it, and I'm just super enjoying it. Like I said, I'm just I don't know, I'm just really grateful to be able to write this story and for people to read it. I'm really excited to get eyes on it. That's one of the things. It's been sitting with me for so long that I'm ready for other people to have it, because to be honest with you, Project Sarah Volume 1 has been done and outlined and everything for so long at this point, outline wise, that I've had the entire story with me for such a long time, and the sequel has changed. I originally had it all planned out, and then I was at work and I came to some initial reactions, and I was like, oh, you know what, actually I think it will be better this way. And so I wrote all those out and I made sure that I corrected them in the correct places. That's the first project. That is the current project that I'm working on, current project that I'm sitting down to put some words into. Now in February I started 2 other projects that I've now put on hold. One of them, once again, I'm building a planet. It's simply, I've wanted to build a planet for so long. I just think it's so cool if you can build a planet. I think it takes so much effort, so much work, because there's so many things that goes into building your own planet. But I want to do it, so I'm still tempted to do it, and I think there's still a possibility for me to accomplish it. I have the journalistic premise and plan, and I wrote down some notes to change some of that stuff, because I really do think that's where the problem was. I wrote 6,000 words into this story, and I just decided that I didn't like it and that I didn't want to go forward with it until I was comfortable with it. And because the story was partially just for me and nobody else, which is I think how almost all stories should start. If you write for an audience, you're just kind of not writing for you, and then I think it feels more contrived. And so I always want to write things for me. Now, to be fair, when we jump over to the next book, those were kind of made partially for me, but also for other people. So I guess I'm a bit of a bad habit, but yeah, that's that. That one was called Project MP, and I still plan on doing Project MP in the future. Moving on, let's jump over to GSR. GSR turned into what Broken Boys originally was, which was a project I just didn't stop talking about. Now, to be fair, I think Project Sarah is more like what Broken Boys is, but Broken Boys actually had content to back it up. I don't think I've vlogged a single thing of Project Sarah, so, except for brief periods of time, which I've been trying to film for you. It's just, I'm not making enough headway in it, and so I get annoyed, and then I just I scrap the video, and then it's a whole thing. GSR, I at least have content out for you. I have 2 vlogs talking about both books, and we're still in the middle of GSR Book 2, Draft 2, which is the rewrite, which I knew was going to be a problem. I just didn't realize how much of a problem child she truly was. And oh my god, she's a bitch. She is so mean. She is so cruel to me. I have a hard time working on it because she's so mean. But I'm really excited to continue on with this series. I will mention this much for you guys to get excited. Originally, this series was to debut in 2024. And to be fair, it might still happen. Originally was not planning on happening. We're still trying to figure out some more adulting things. Me and my fiance are that take up a big part of what the reason why a lot of stuff got pushed. A lot of these things are expensive. To get a book self-published. If you did not know, I'd highly recommend you look into it. And yeah, part of it's marketing. I had to spend some money on marketing itself because sometimes Instagram ad or a Facebook ad could do a long ways. But also I also need to market it myself, and I've not started marketing any books or anything like that. And so there's a lot of processes through it. I want GSR's the entire series done because I am doing a rapid release when it does come out. And so I'd like everything done before I even think about publishing the first one. The first one at this very moment in time, outside of some grammar, some line edits and stuff, and getting some of the language completed, it's done. I'm actually super duper excited to read it once I finish the series. So I'll do a whole read through of all three of them to make sure they kind of flow together. I'm really excited to sit down to do that read through, to do that read past, because I have a feeling it's going to be really good, and I'm really looking forward to it. You guys at this very moment in time will see it somewhere in the first quarter of 2025 is the plan for publication, which is the first time I've ever announced this on the channel, which is exciting. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking, but it's also exciting. GSR book 2, like I said, is going through developmental hell, but it's fine. I think I figured out all the developmental stuff. I just have gone back, and I think I've started this draft now 3 times, and I have a feeling I'll start it a 4th time, which is so annoying. It is what it is. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work out just fine, but I am annoyed slightly on the inside because I just want to be done. I want this draft to be done. I want to be able to send it to my sister. I want someone some eyes on it to be able to read it, and then I want to move on and do GSR book 3. And that's really what's taken up a lot of my reading or my writing time is GSR. A lot of my thought process has gone to GSR and Project Sarah and this third project, which we'll talk about. So let's talk about it. So that's GSR. Once again, you guys can expect a publication date in early 2025, either late 2024 or early 2025. I don't have a direct release date. I do have titles for them all. I don't have covers for them yet, and I plan on doing these whole big things. I'm hoping to get a website out and doing all that fun business managing stuff here relatively soon. I'm still trying to figure out what my publishing house is going to be called, all this, all these things. So I'm still trying to figure out some of that stuff, but I'm very excited to really dive in and talk to you about it, and for you guys to be able to read it eventually. That being said, let's move over to my little sister's fantasy book. So I think I've talked about River's fantasy book a few times. It is a 4-book series, I think is what we decided on. I think we all kind of predict her to kind of fall out of it after the 4th book. My original plan was 5 books, because most of these series that are kind of like this are 5-book series when they're middle grade. They tend to be 5 books. They're either a trilogy or 5. And I might aim for 3 and then leave open cracks for more if she wants more. And I think that might be initially what I'm doing. My biggest issue I'm having so far is creating a prophecy. What the fuck? This is so hard. I was recording to this so much of the life. I don't understand. I very much figured out almost everything else, and I figured out the beginning of a prophecy, what the whole thing is. I just have yet to figure out this will happen, and write it in a very methodical way. It's very beautiful. She created all the artwork, she created all the images. She's going to be making the cover for it without knowing, and things, and publication for these, for instance, they will be up to her. A lot of this story, especially as they progress further into this world, are going to come from her mind, and I'm going to be able to adapt those things. And if she decides when she's 18, 16, 17 that she loves them, and she still loves them, and she shares them, and she wants other people to read them, and she's still excited about them, then yeah, I have a plan to publish them in the future. But she's going to be turning 11, and so that's 5 to 6 to 7 years from now. The only good thing about that is all the books will be completed, and I can do more drafts of them to make sure they're very polished and ready for everybody to see them, past the point of her eyes and a few other a few alpha readers that I personally know who will read them, or I guess betas that I know, to give me a little bit of, but she's basically my audience. She's my only targeted audience. These stories are built around things that she loves in literature, things that she loves to talk and to read about. That's one of the main things. I'm just I don't know. And also it's very collaborative. Her name will be on the book. Her name will be printed with the book if it ever does get published, and so that's a huge reason why I'm a big advocate to wait, because yeah, technically it's a story that I wrote, but she did all the artwork, and I don't plan on ever changing the artwork, and it's all up to her. Either way, I'm very excited about that project though. I've not started writing it, even though I should have probably started writing it already. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a bit of a problem. And so I've actually switched over to just exclusively writing it when I'm at work during my downtime. I have a little downtime. It's not like a lot, and I'm sure once I get going, maybe I'll come home late at night and continue working on it. But we're gonna try to handwrite the whole thing. I don't know if it's gonna work out the way I want it to work out or not, but I'm having a great time so far. I haven't even started, but I've had a good time handwriting, putting on handwriting in pencil and things, only because I do make some mistakes, and then we'll eventually have to transfer it all over. And so I feel like we'll write a few pages, I'll get a little bit deeper into it, maybe a chapter, we'll transfer it all over into the computer type of thing. And I don't even know if the whole notebook will be filled with it, like the whole story will be filled inside this notebook or not, or I'll write a chapter here and write a chapter here or whatever. The first one is going to be shorter. I'm thinking 35,000 or so words, and then they're just going to progressively get longer and longer with each book because they're aging with her. And then of course, let's talk about Shadow Creek, or Tommy's book, or whatever you want to call it, my romance companion series, which my hope is, I guess there's a few there's a few others. For Shadow Creek in particular, my hope is for publication for those to come out yearly for the next 5 years, because there's 5 books. It's a companion series, an interwoven companion series. Basically, the whole point of it is to write a single book so you can read them individually like standalones, but you'll get more enrichment if you read the entire thing. So like, for instance, like the first book and the last book are really the only 2 books that need to be read together, but each book has like a prologue in it that is like a flash forward to what the ending is. Maybe we'll preview into the life of these characters and things. I think it's how I'm doing it. I have to look. I can't really remember, and so those moments you might want to read the rest. I don't know, but they'll come out yearly, and they're based on an individual in this friend group, the characters and their romances and stuff, and the more adult things that they cover, which I'm having a lot of fun working on. I just haven't really sat down to fully like digest it and write it, and so hopefully I'll be doing that some point this summer. It screams I need to write in summer, and so what I might end up doing is finishing Project Sarah, writing River's fantasy book, and then after I finish Project Sarah, jumping into Tommy's book, which is the first book in this series, which I will just continue to call Tommy's book. It has a title and everything, but it's the main character's name. I really don't care if you know. Could change. Like I said, I just don't care. But Tommy's book and things, and I have some of the tropes already planned out. The whole entire book is already done, and then I also have brief ideas for its sequels. I don't have the exact order yet. I do need to figure that out because it's important for timeline, because the characters do get older with each iteration of the books. Those are my current work in progress projects. I wanted to just go over all of them. I wanted you to know about some plans for the future, because like there's some amazing things that are happening, and I just want you to be like aware of everything that I'm doing and stuff. So you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.